One of the things we talk about a lot on streams, and I talked about just recently on streams, how big should Final Fantasy VII Remake be? If you haven't followed me over on twitch.tv/Ray Coffman, please do so. It's right down here. I'm bad at that. Right there. Twitch.tv/Ray Coffman. Follow me over there. We go live. We do talk a lot about Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy Remake, other video game series that I really enjoy. But one of the things that I talk about a lot on there that we discuss as a community is how big is this going to be? And I'm not even talking about open world. I'm talking about how much are we looking to explore in the entirety of the remake that they're going to create. How much of the story is going to be intact? How big is the scope going to be? And open world is a part of that, but I've been a big proponent that as long as it's huge, thriving zones that we could explore, I would be fine with that. Because if you think about the original Final Fantasy VII map, it is just big zones you walk around in and get in random battles, divided up by cave entrances and cave exits and all this other kind of stuff. It's going to be much bigger than that. But if it's kind of that same formula, it doesn't need to be The Witcher or Elder Scrolls. Now, I think they could do an Elder Scrolls type thing with Gaia, but the original map as well was a lot of ocean. I'd say 60 to 70% of the map is ocean, probably, 50 to 60% probably. And then mountains that you can't walk over. So 70% of the map isn't even explorable. People need to remember that when they're thinking about Final Fantasy VII. It wasn't as grandiose as you remember. I recently revisited it, and I did my research on that when people were talking about open world. Now, I think they have an opportunity to do something great, and not just with open world, and I hope they do it. Hope they give us like a Skyrim or a Ghost of Tsushima kind of thing, That would be great. But I'm talking about the depth of the story. How deep are they going to go? How are they going to go into every bit of notes they had laying around for years? Because that's what the compilation became, right? And we know they're infusing elements of the compilation. But how much are they going to infuse? How much do we want them to infuse? Me, I say do it all. But here's the caveat. Don't make it all necessary. If you want to explore the exploits of Deep Ground, if you want to explore some of the history of Wutai, if you want to go into Cosmo Canyon, really do a deep dive into the planetary studies and stuff, make that optional. You got Bugenhagen, you've got Godot, you've got all these different quest givers you could have in those areas. Go find this element, introduce weapon item forging and stuff like that, different ways of doing it, and doing those things rewards you better stuff, of course, but make it optional. At least give us the option to explore every nook and cranny of the story of Final Fantasy VII, because I've said in previous videos, I really feel like this is the last hurrah for Final Fantasy VII. Now there's going to be character tie-ins. There's going to be, you're going to see characters pop up in different mobile games and other console games and stuff. That's going to happen. But as far as the story, exploring the lore and the scope of Final Fantasy VII's narrative, this one of the greatest stories ever written, in my opinion. This is it. This is it. They're putting all their eggs in the basket. This is probably the original dev team that worked on the game. This is probably their last big project, right? I know Kitase said this is probably going to take the rest of his career to tell this story. Then please do it up. Please do it all the way up, baby. Go for it. Give us everything. But don't make it so that the people that just want to play through the main story and see the ending, don't make it so that they have to do that. We don't need to do that. Look at The Witcher. Look how good the side quests are in The Witcher 3. Those side quests are great. They're not all fantastic, but I'd say 80% of them are great, and relevant to the story. And the side quest gives you history, gives you background on the culture of the world, and you could totally do that in Final Fantasy VII. You could totally do that. There's so many different cultures, like Medial You've got all these different areas. Wutai, of course. You know, the history of Shinra, we got a lot of that in Remake Part 1. But then you've got, you know, Cosmo Canyon, the Gi tribe, and all these, etc. You know, we know diddly squat about the Cetra after 25 years. Give us something. Let us do something. Part of the planetary studies of Cosmo Canyon could be unveiling secrets about the Cetra. Could be like finding lost tombs or caves and finding artifacts and writings from the Cetra. I mean, the limits, they're only limited by their imagination. They're no longer limited by hardware or technology. They're only limited by the imagination. So I say, please, Square Enix, please go for broke on this. Give us the experience that we've all wanted for years. Give us everything. And I think it's going to be pretty wild. So, well, let me know what you all think about that. That's just a toe in the water. We're just dipping the toe on the water. We got a lot more coming this week. We're going to be diving into different theories. A lot of theory and speculation this week. I've had a lot of ideas. And so we are going to be getting into it hardcore. Also, twitch.tv/Ray Coffman. Make sure to follow me over there. Boom, right there. See, I told you I'm bad at that. I can't do that like the big people do. Anyway, it's right there. Follow me over there. We're going to be talking a lot. I think I'm going to be doing a discussion probably tomorrow night on just Final Fantasy VII Remake, where we're going, where we're headed, what's coming, you know, from a theory and speculation, narrative, story, character building standpoint, and also from a technical, when are we physically going to get the game standpoint. So lock it in there. Big, heavy discussions. I'm trying to line up some discussions with some other big content creators that we can do, and something fun for you all. And you know how I present my content in a way of bringing other people into it, and us having those deep discussions about, you know, kind of how we do it on this channel, and picking their brain in a way that maybe somebody else hasn't picked their brain before, and asking deep, hard questions about this stuff. So lock it in here. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a great night. Be safe, be good to each other, and keep rocking. I will see you all next time. I want to say a quick thank you to my YouTube and Patreon members and supporters. If you would like to support the future creation of content on this channel, get some few extra perks and some art sent to your door every month, consider becoming a Patreon or YouTube member. Details and links are in the video description.